So how was that conversation with your mother or your parents when you told them, "Oh yeah, I'm going to study a degree in fine art"?
Uh, Interesting how it happened. My mom asked me, "When in the campus?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "I've already enrolled." Wait, what are you doing? And so it was surprising. They're like, school fees and stuff. And I'm like, from what I've been doing here at home, I've been able to make myself into campus. So it was
Wait,
not, what are you going to do? Or, so I think I was halfway through convincing.
hi and welcome to The Journey. I'll be your host, Faith Murungu. And on today's episode, we have an amazing person here. What's your name, amazing person?
Hi, everyone. My name is Msioka Martin. Yeah, and I'm a visual artist, and I'm happy here to grace your first episode.
My first episode, yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
Anytime.
So you've said you're a visual artist.
Yes.
So could you tell us more on who or what is a visual artist?
Basically, the field of art you find is visual arts and the performing arts. So, performing arts, you'll always see the artist, but in visual arts, you see the creations of the artist. So, for visual art, you'll only see like painting, sculptures, graphic design,
Yeah.
photography. So, as long as the artist is not there, that's visual art.
So how did you become a visual artist? Is this something you studied in school? Did you pick it as you grew up? Or how did you become a visual artist?
Mostly is, I think as Kenyans, we've all been born as artists.
Yeah.
It just depends on how it's nurtured and if your parents encourage you or discourage you, and you even end up being an artist because you're discouraged. But yeah, for me, it was just as a child growing, doing comics, drawing, copy pasting. So that's how finally, I kept on editing the skill, and here I am. Yeah.
So did you study this in school?
I went to KU later on, like in campus, did that. Yeah.
Let me pretend I'm not a KU alumni. Wait, KU offers that shit? They offer a degree.
Yes, they do. They offer a degree in fine arts.
So how was that conversation with your mother or your parents when you told them, "Oh yeah, I'm going to study a degree in fine art"?
Interesting how it happened. My mom asked me, "When in the campus?"
Mhm.
And I'm like, "I've already enrolled." Wait, what are you doing? And so it was surprising. They're like, school fees and stuff. And I'm like, from what I've been doing here at home, I've been able to make myself into campus. So
Wait.
it was not, what are you going to do? Or, so I think I was halfway through convincing them.
So first of all, props for that. So are you just telling us you were doing something, working, and then you paid for your school? What were you doing? I was giving you money to take you through campus.
So let's go back to okay, in high school. So I performed quite well, and so with that time it was called this job, and nowadays it's a different name.
Help.
So yes, the help or whatever.
The selection.
Job. Yes. So there's a private students who performed quite well.
Yeah.
And there are those who walikula vitabu sana. So I was part of those. And
when you walikula vitabu ama when you hakukula vitabu?
It was a balance. Huwezi kula sana. You'll fail in other aspects of life. So
yeah.
I was able to, get several, I think in high school, I also tried a bit of business in, trying to make some crafts here and there.
Yeah.
So after high school, continued with the same journey. And that's what helped me. So I was making paper crafts. So there's a guy whom we were making paper with. So I was more of like under him and learning the skills of even marketing and pushing out his product.
Yeah.
So with that, I was, let's say, helping out in his work. So with that, the small things, saving, yeah, ended up paying that. Also, help came through. So yeah, so that, and you find also at that time, if you're paying school fees like 15K, it's
kidded.
Yeah.
Affordable.
Maybe it's affordable.
It's affordable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, so that isn't them into agreeing for you to do fine art and whatever you wanted to pursue. So did they question like, "Oh, how are you going to make money?" Or they already had seen and then they were just okay with you
It's
pursuing
already
whatever?
visible that this is something that in the end, because I believe most parents, as long as it's convincible enough to them, and they see, oh, this is a way to this, so it's not a hard tackle or
Conversation.
hassle there with them. Yeah.
Yeah. And were your friends like, okay, well, like what did your friends say when you tell them we were going to campus to do? Because there's this thing about flexing. Oh, I'm doing engineer. Oh, I'm doing law. Oh, I'm doing. How did your friends react?
Let's see. The friends I had, I think the connection with friends at that time, it's, oh, you're going to school. So even like, I'm more of like closed off guy. So it's, hey, I'm just going to school. So don't ask what I'm going to do. I'm just going to school. Yeah, everything else. Because I believe it's easier to, like, if you know what you're going to do, you don't have to talk too much about it.
Yeah.
You already know it. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
So I just went to campus and yeah. But for the first year, it was more of like, because I had my units in like Tuesday and Wednesday, and my mom was like, "Kushu kweli unaenda shule?" And then, so maybe in the second semester, it's where now like getting into doing so much of creating art. So my parent was like, "Hey, don't stay up till late in the night. Take it easy." Yeah. But that's how it was.
So when you were starting to create art, how would you explain your style?
At that time, I didn't have a style. So it was just going with it, because I was still young. And for me, I've always said, if you can learn a skill, it really helps.
Yeah.
So learn it, be good at it. So if you have to move forward, it becomes easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, disclaimer, we went to campus together. We're almost in the same class, some classes.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think you're the most bold person I saw, because how would I have described how I met you?
You're twice as bold.
I would have described you as the nudist, because all your arts were nude.
Now was later in around third year.
Third year. Yeah. So how did you get into painting or doing art around nudity? Because we're a very conservative nation. So what did you just wake up and like, you know what? I'm starting to draw nudes. I'm starting to paint nudes. What inspired you?
At that time in school, so still trying to find a style.
Yeah.
Because you learn how to draw people, you learn how to draw everything. But then it comes to a point where like you're given a project.
Yeah.
So you're told we have to figure out what you're going to paint if it's for a certain place. And for me at that time, I wanted to just make, like a statement, not just to be there in school and then just leave, like people be like, he was just here. We don't know much about him.
Yeah.
So I just decided just to pick the human form because I found I was really good with, getting figures right, the proportions right. So for me, I didn't even know I had gotten into nudes. So I was just painting and drawing nudes and people were fascinated. For me, it was not much of a fascination because I was getting now proportions, learning. Because you see, for me, it's still learning, practicing, getting better at it. Yeah. Also trying out how will it look better? How will it be, Because most of the time, even if you see my nudes, it's not, you look at it and think, because most people think it's more like porn or anything, but it's just nudity. I think when you see art in the nude sense, you will see it first as art. So there's no that shock of she's naked, he's naked.
Yeah. But how did you, it would take us through how you locked your first nude model. How did you even start that conversation?
Mostly a fellow artist. But before that, I think also goes in all aspects of if you're trying out anything, even if it's business, if people around you are not accepting you, because also you need to build that confidence. So I always had a friend who was always saying, when you decide to look for models, holla at me. Because, at that time, trying to convince people, come, let me draw you. And they're like, nah. So there's that mentality of what if, what not, So it's also people forget that for you to be a nude model, it's a whole process. You just don't come and sit there and pose. You don't undress in front of the artist. Yeah. So I can say there's a sacredness to it. So it's not just sit, I'll paint,
Yeah.
So you have to like indulge a model to know what they'll do. So also for me, as I'm saying, I kept on researching and knowing if I'm going into this, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
So yeah. And so far, that's how finally later on, the friend came through and she posed and I think I've painted several pieces
A
and
lot.
drawings.
So
Several,
being
not so
modest,
many.
a lot.
The others, it's mostly what I've gotten from online. So
Yeah.
there were art pages which were offering nude models. So
Yeah.
from there, it was easy just to pick and paint.
Oh.
Yeah.
For real?
Yes.
So do you pay the site? It's
Yes,
free.
you pay for that.
Oh, I would have been like, this is a career opportunity.
Yeah.
And when did you sell your first nude photo, or when did you sell your first art?
Okay. I think, let me remember. Because I've done so many art.
You don't remember your first sale?
I can't.
For real?
Yeah. I think I've just done so much. So the preoccupation of doing and keep on doing. Yeah. But maybe one after maybe the first sales. In campus, there was a time my mom suggested just go and work. No, actually, it was someone from church. Because also an IT person. I really wanted to venture into that, but didn't manage to. So what happened? Someone saw me in church, we interacted, and they were like, "Yeah, hey, can you come work for our office? You're good with tech. We've seen what you can do. Come, So I worked for them, and then
Hold a minute. Plot twist. You
Yes.
worked in tech.
not really, more of like front office, but still doing so much because I was only employee in that office. So it's just a small cubicle space. Yeah, so I was more of like is it an intern where they say you have to work like 3 months and then
Yeah. You
Whatever
put on
name.
probation. And
yes,
yeah.
yeah. But after the first month, I was paid 5K, and I was like, "Who's kidding the other here?" Then I don't know. I think the universe has a way to just telling you, "Hey, this is
It's not for you.
Yeah. So I got someone who told me just do me a portrait like this, and then I just bluffed on it will cost you this much.
Yeah.
So it was several multiples of that 5,000, and
I say the number.
so I made 25K from that. So, and I did the
3 months
overnight.
salary.
That's 5. If I was still there for 5K.
Oh yeah, that's 5 months worth of
Yeah.
salary.
So it pushed me to like figure out, do I really want to wake up and I think that's where my detest for wearing official clothes. came from. I was like, nah, this is too, as most people say, wearing the hook.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to keep on hanging myself every time.
Mm.
Yeah, and then everything else, so I went back to making, because I was really into paper craft. And so I just went back to YouTube, getting ideas, learning, making things origami as well, which finally, and then this is why, and I still insist that get that skill. It will help you later on.
Yeah.
So I've even had to do workshops in origami, which also paid bills and here and there. So yeah.
I think the one statement you don't like,
Yeah.
and you respond to it very well, is starving artists. I think I've ever
Yes.
made a joke and like, oh my God, artists are starving. And you're like, am I starving? So have you ever?
Why should you starve?
Why should you starve? But you see, it's the mentality. Like
Yes.
even right now, if you tell your parent, I want to venture into, I want to become an artist, I want to become a musician, they'd be like, hi. They first associated to drugs and then brokenness. And
Of
then
course,
just
brokenness has to be there for you to create.
Everyone is broke,
Yeah.
but artists broke is like considered very
similar.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you have done so well for yourself. But what I can ask is, have you ever wanted to like get a job? Has it ever gone to a place and you're like, you know what? I want to look for a job.
So there's a time when I got a studio space.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, you're just straight from campus, you've done your internship, you're done with that. And then now you want to get a space where you can work from. So, of course, there's your house rent, there's a studio rent, then you're already learning how to pay black tax and also all those other things. You have to eat, you have to dress well.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a time, and as you've said, there's something about mentality.
Yeah.
So there's one client I was waiting on.
Yeah.
And I was like, this will solve all my problems. And then the client didn't come through. So I think it was the first time I missed, like I didn't have money to even, just buy dinner.
Mm.
So the next day we went to the studio and decided, I have friends.
Yeah.
Let me do a loyalty test with my friends.
Yeah.
So went to WhatsApp, see also profile pictures, download, copy, draw. I'm not saying all artists should be doing this, but in case for me, I wanted to try, and I think that's where it gets to. If you have a cause for you, a need, you're able to act upon it. So I got profile pictures of people, and yeah, just did A4 sized drawings,
Yeah.
and then sent to people and told them, so this is we're going to do a power play here. If you want to portrait for free, I'll do it. I'll just give it free, but do this. Just put it on your status or your Instagram stories. Have your friends, bring their orders and, charge 1,000. And so I did like 10. So from the 10, I got some good money and enjoyed and paid my bill at that time.
Oh, I see. You exchange the value of your art.
Yeah.
And there's this advice that is normally given a lot. I think I've given it sometimes, where you're told to get a job, which is giving you money as
Which
you're
is
working.
not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
As you're working on your passion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think, will you tell someone to do that, or would you advise them to just get into their passion directly?
I'd say for anyone trying out or someone who's done it and it's failed, going back to being employed gives you a sense of discipline. That you come into your workplace, or if you're working from home, at the end of the day, you have like a job card. Okay, today I've done this, I've achieved that much, just knowing that this is a job as well.
Yeah.
Because the comfort of being
you take it as an 8 to 5 as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that helps you in learning, even money discipline. You have to commute, you have to set aside funds for this and that. So it helps. Even me, that 1 month I was paid 5K. There's some experience that I got.
Yeah.
Not as much, but it's rooted me in my business.
Yeah. So how long has it been from campus to now?
We're in 2023.
23.
Since 2012. So around 10, 11 years.
10, 11 years. So how can you describe your journey in one word?
Not the easiest, but very informative. And I've had best of experiences being an artist.
Yeah. So what has been your greatest victory and what has been your greatest challenge in those 11 years?
Greatest victory, just knowing that I can be an artist. Waking without the doubt that I can do this. Yeah. And also to a point where art has given me a very stable mindset. So I think that's a greatest victory.
Yeah.
The other question was?
Greatest challenge?
Just learning how to be in control of my space, head-wise and also studio-wise. So over the years, it's been, because I've been a very welcoming person. And that also has brought other challenges to it. So now over the years, I've been learning, this is a space, I need to take care of all of it. And, I need to be in control and in charge.
Yeah. You've said something about mentality, just knowing and believing you're good at this. I think a lot of people struggle with that.
Yes, a lot.
What can you tell someone like me? I struggle with that a lot sometimes. I think I call it imposter syndrome. It's like, you're great, but you're like, am I really that great? Have you ever struggled with that?
Not really, because I learned how to diversify as an artist. And you see, this is the problem. Even farmers just don't become a farmer overnight.
Yeah.
If you want to get to, let's say, doing a chicken farm, you've sold eggs, you've sold chickens, so there's so many things that are prepared forward to that. So, and let's just work with that chicken farmer, seller. So for them, they've learned that in the market, there are no feeds enough at times. So you have to diversify, know how to create your own feeds. So if you're not selling the chickens, so once in a while you'll sell the feeds.
Yeah.
So this is something also business people apply.
You need to diversify your portfolio of work.
But it should be related closely to what you're doing.
To the course of your work.
So that if the main part fails, if you're selling cars, you have a garage on the side.
Yeah.
So all those people who always... So I think it's trying to find a balance. Not that there will be a balance eventually, but it helps.
Okay.
So the same thing for all creatives. Yeah. It's not just because you're good with what you're doing, but on the side, what other skill have you learned that can impact your business?
Yeah. Okay. So what's the most amount of money you've made from one art?
0 shillings at times. Yeah. Because at times if someone appreciates art, you just give them. You don't have to pay.
I have tried. I have tried zero currency.
I would say
You can
I
say
can't
6
give a
figures.
figure.
If you're okay, you can give 6 figures.
there are no actual figures to that. Yeah, because you see, for me, it's the money is the last. The money is the last thing to.
Okay. To you, we are asking as your listeners, your friends,
Uh-huh.
and even people at home listening, how much money have you made from art?
At times I've made a lot. I can say.
It's a lot.
Okay, between 100 and 200 for a single artwork. Yeah.
Oh.
So, but that's what.
And you can even make more because
Mhm.
when you go to the gallery, the people even sell at 1.5 and all
But
that.
they've built a name. They've been in the industry. I've not gotten there yet.
Yeah.
I know at times I've slacked behind. So saying between 100 and 200 is where I am at.
Yeah.
moment. Yeah.
So as we come to the close of this episode, I'd like to ask you, like, what's the one parting shot you can give to anyone who wants to start this career? How can they start and how can they become great?
As I always say, do a lot of search and research. Yeah. Know what you're going into. Ask. Talk to people who've been there.
Mm-hmm.
Engage them. Just know why are they doing it? Why is it? How far they've come? Learn the challenges so that you're not starting from zero.
Mm.
Yeah. So
They'll have learned on your behalf.
At least.
Yeah. How do you get a mentor, by the way? From, let's say, for example, in your industry, how do you get a mentor?
My mentor at that time when I was in campus was one of my lecturers. And he was like, I like how you're painting. And I was like, oh, and then I kept painting more and more and just making sure my standards were getting better. And then from that, can I come internship at your place? And that's how the whole journey became. So it's building a rapport with whom you want to. I think it comes as asking without asking. Because someone you've engaged them, and I think it's also building relationships.
Yeah.
Not wanting to define a certain end to a certain goal you have, but just, as we say, go with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I think it's the last question. This thing about people copying your art. How do you handle that? Like, you create something and then somebody takes a photo and then they go recreate it and sell it for cheap, almost reducing the value market. So how do you deal with people stealing your art or creativity?
I think for me, I take it as a challenge. If someone can do what I can do.
You're not doing your job well.
Thank you. So it helps you actually to advance and be like, oh, I've been doing this. Let me just go back to the drawing board. Let me change,
your tactics and all that.
Yeah.
Okay, Sawa. Thank you so much, Martin,
Anytime.
for gracing the journey,
Yes.
our first episode. It was nice meeting you. And we will actually be coming probably to your studio so you can show people what the student looks like and your work, right? Yeah. You can leave us your details. Do you want people to follow you on Instagram?
Instagram, Sioka_Martin. Yeah. So
Any other
Sioka
channel?
Martin. I think from there it's easy to get all other links.
Okay. Thank you so much for listening until the end of the episode. And we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Follow The Journey on all social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends. Yeah. Thank you so much and have a lovely rest of the day, whatever time you're listening to this. Yay.